Welcome to the Baritone Basement. I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Nathan.
Now, it has recently come to our attention that a fair majority of our listenership are older females.
Yeah, mothers.
Mothers.
Maybe our show should be called The Mother's Breakfast or something.
Where'd you get that from?
I don't know.
Look.
Where do we get anything we say from?
By the way, I did say older women. I didn't mean older women.
Sorry.
I meant young
Hey, and
women.
who's to say that mums are old women? There's some 16-year-old mums.
We're not targeting 16-year-old
Sorry,
mums.
we're not. Well, we're targeting anyone. This is a show for anyone.
This is a show for anyone. But
So
we
yes,
thought-
we are targeting 16-year-old mums. We're targeting 40-year-old mums. We're targeting any mums.
targeting 80-year-old mums.
We are. That's a bit weird.
Not sure that's possible.
Actually, it
but-
is possible as long as they're not new mums.
Yes,
They
of
have
course.
to be old mums.
Definitely.
Yeah,
yes.
that's
Okay.
right.
Who knows? One day it might be possible. Anyway.
Anyway, too much mum talk.
Well,
so
no, not enough. I think this little episode is going to be the Mum Issues
this
podcast.
this is the mother of all episodes.
This is for all you mothers
Yeah.
out there that like listening to us. So
Right.
let's talk about a few issues that might strike a chord
Okay.
with our mother listeners.
All right. So what might strike a chord with them, Jeremy? You've obviously thought about this.
I wish I had. I think doing the shopping is a mother's issue.
Now we've talked about that.
We have actually before in our queuing
We've talked
podcast.
about flustered mothers
Yes.
having trouble in queues.
They wouldn't let you in the queue,
That's
would
right.
they?
I was shaking my cup of soup at them, saying I've only got one item, and they don't let me in front because they're flustered and want to get out.
Actually, that reminds me of another issue that I have recently come across, which mothers might be interested in.
Yeah.
I was in Kmart the other day, and you know how they, like next to the counter, they have this whole aisle of things that they want to tempt you with.
Oh,
like
yes.
tempters, like
Yeah.
cheap things that you might want.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
chewing gum and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
There's a
yeah.
whole aisle of it in
Choc
town.
bars.
Anyway, one of the things that were there was this instant soup, right?
What?
So it's a can,
Yeah.
and you bite the top of. Well, you don't bite. You like. I can't think of the word. You
It's like
open
a
the can.
can.
You
Yeah,
open
you
the can.
pull it open, yeah.
And when you open it, it heats up the can.
What?
To a drinkable, like a hot temperature.
Oh, it's got some
for
sort
soup.
of chemical
Yeah,
reaction.
It has
going
some
on
sort of
here.
gaseous reaction. in there,
Gaseous?
I reckon. And
It's an interesting
there were two
word.
flavors. There was tomato soup and mushroom soup,
Right.
which sounded a bit foul. So
That
I bought
does.
that one for my friend.
Oh,
for his birthday.
Good.
Anyway, I thought mothers.
His birthday. His
Yes.
birthday present was soup in a can.
It was a
I
joke.
like that. That's good.
It's a bit of you know how you get those joke presents that are
Yeah,
cheap,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you know
It's
have
just like when-
funny value.
It's just like when people turn 50, you give them like false teeth, and you give them. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you give
False
them.
teeth are pretty expensive. Good
No,
ones.
no, like fake ones. You know, like you buy one of those ones where you wind it up and it like it bounces along the table, opening and closing its mouth, going.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think that's a mother's issue.
Like what could be when they turn 50.
Let's hope not, for their sake. Look, I did just think of another mother's issue.
Yeah.
How about midweek tennis?
Midweek tennis.
Yes.
Is that a mother issue
I can. Well, at my local tennis club. There's a midweek tennis club for
for mothers?
mothers. They
Nice.
go along and play tennis.
So they can play with their own kind.
In fact, the gym seems to be popular with mothers.
The gym.
Yes, like my mother's joined a gym. I know a lot of other mothers when I'm at
Okay.
the gym. In fact, when I go to the gym, a lot of the people at the gym are mothers,
Right.
and they're working out.
So what sort of workouts do mothers do?
Well, they like the treadmill. They like walking on the treadmill
Right,
and
so-
talking to each other,
Right.
gossiping.
And now I'm guessing they're all wearing their little pedometers and counting their footsteps.
And track suits.
And then they like compare them later and have a coffee over it.
yeah. And drinking the coffee
Yeah.
actually reinstalls the calories
That's right.
that they've
It's
just
like,
burnt
oh,
off.
look what I just did 3,000 paces.
In fact, that's what I've also found. Mothers have a coffee problem. A lot of them have too many coffees. In my
Maybe that's a
opinion.
stress thing.
I reckon it is. Start having decaf, ladies.
Decaf.
I reckon decaffeinate
See,
your coffee.
you know what I think?
You're addicted to the taste.
What is the point of decaf? Why bother drinking coffee if it's not going to have caffeine in it?
Well, that's what I said. You're addicted to the taste, I reckon.
But don't you drink coffee to give yourself a boost as well?
Yes, that's
Isn't
part
that
of
half
it.
the reason you drink it?
But once you get addicted, I think part of that addiction is the taste.
Yeah, I guess it is. I guess that's.
And-
I reckon that is a solid 50% of it.
Hmm.
But I think half of it is the fact that you know that you're going to get a hit from it.
But the thing about it is, I think once you're addicted, you don't get a hit from it. You just come back to normal.
Oh.
You feel bad if you don't have
Oh,
it. That's
right.
the addiction.
So you reckon you feel under if you haven't had it,
yes, definitely.
and then you feel like just normal, not better than normal.
Yes.
When you have one.
That's the tragic thing
Oh,
about
I
addiction.
don't know. I don't
See,
know. 'Cause
I-
it's- I don't know.
I rarely ever have coffees, and when
Yeah.
I do have one, I know it will give me a boost.
Oh, righto.
I never have coffees in the morning or tea or
Mr.
anything.
Mr. Perfect.
Not perfect.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things about me that's not
Oh, right.
perfect, but
Right.
this is one thing that is.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, I'm a bit of a coffee addict, actually.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I usually
haven't-
have it. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm not that bad. I usually have about 3 a day. Is that bad?
I reckon that's on the limit.
Usually have
I
one in the
wouldn't want to have
morning.
more.
Usually have one with lunch. Often have one later.
Are you one of these people that only drinks like real coffee, or do you don't know? You don't mind instant?
I don't particularly like instant coffee. It's not good.
What do you have for breakfast then?
Well, I usually have filtered coffee,
Oh, okay, that's all right. That's halfway
Like-
there, isn't
like plunger coffee.
Yep.
And then for lunch I usually get a real one. You know.
it? So you're
I
paying your
need it.
$3 a day.
Yeah, I need my real coffee. There's nothing like real coffee.
What's
you know?
your order?
What do I order?
Yeah.
I'm a versatile person.
Oh,
I'm not one of
okay.
those ones who gets the same thing every time. But
Yeah.
my most frequent order is a flat white.
Fair enough.
Yeah, a flat white. But sometimes I get a latte.
Yeah, I often get.
And
a
then if I
latte
feel like, spoiling myself a bit, I might get a mocha.
or a cappuccino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
go
some,
the
I get. I,
cappuccino.
actually, I do drink cappuccinos sometimes.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Because it's got the chocolate coating on the top.
It is
it's
nice,
nice.
chocolate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
gotta like
nice.
that. Yeah.
So
So mum's like that too.
perhaps a tip for the mothers. Back to the mothers, because
Yeah.
this is the mother episode.
That's right. They enjoyed that little coffee conversation.
I think they did.
They'll
because
talk about it at their next coffee meeting.
That is what mothers do. They
Yeah.
they have coffee meetings.
That's
In
right.
fact, another way they socialise is through book clubs. I've
Oh,
found
book clubs.
everyone seems to have a book club,
Mm.
and I reckon it's a pretty cool way to catch up.
What else do they do? Do they have like a
But
knitting club?
just these clubs, right? And the whole thing about the clubs is, my mum's got a book club.
Mm.
They read their books, and they probably talk about it for about 10 minutes, and the rest of their meeting they just talk about anything else.
Yeah, actually, there's other things like that, like scrapbooking and stuff.
Yes.
That it's all
They just
you
do
know
it.
girly mother stuff.
Mm. But really,
Yeah.
see, anything you do is just an excuse to spend time with the other mothers and
And
gossip.
and have a coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Well, having a coffee is just an excuse to meet up and gossip.
It is indeed.
You
It
can't
is.
just say, "Hey, lady friend, fellow mother, let's go and have a gossip session." You don't
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
You have
no,
to have an
you
excuse.
don't.
It's just like our excuse doing
Yeah.
this radio show.
That's right. Yeah.
Now-
This is real. This is big.
It's not an excuse. This is a big, and we're going to earn a
We're
lot of
just
money
up in
from
our
this one
ivory
day.
towers, just broadcasting down upon everyone.
Well, we are. But the thing about ivory towers is they're often isolated things.
Maybe
isn't-
they are.
I guess we're isolated right now, but we're projecting our isolated conversation to the world.
We are. We're just broadcasting it out to all those mothers out there drinking their coffees and talking about us.
So I hope you've enjoyed this short mother podcast.
This mother moment.
This is for you, mothers.
It's a mother of all moments.
See you later.
Bye.